Hi, welcome to Classic Car Cave. So, at long last I have some good news. My Mini is actually now the turf has been done, it's all gone through, it's passed. It has an MOT on it for a year. What we have to do now is just register it and put the number plates on it. Now, I'm not sure at the moment, my wife and I are deciding what to do, whether we put its own number plate on it or a number plate that I purchased, which is HF Fast 1, FAST 1, which is €90, so it's not a lot of money, not like the UK where it costs thousands. So we either have that on it, or we have an old-timer registration plate. But the problem with those is that you're not limited to the miles, but you're supposed to put down all the trips you do and keep a log, which is a pain in the arse. Or we could actually put it onto my E-type registration number, and we think we're allowed up to 3 cars on that same plate, but it means we have to keep swapping the plates all the time, which is again a bit of a pain. So I'm not quite sure what we'll do, but for people that haven't seen this car or have only started watching him recently or have been watching him from years ago when I built it, this car has been finished for 3 years, and it's taken me this long to try and find somebody. I had other projects on the go at the time, obviously, and I kind of let it go, and eventually it's taken me 11 months to get it through its test. I'll show you some of the paperwork where they've even measured the steering wheel, measured the high-low system to make sure it's so far off the ground, all kinds of stuff. The amount of hoops you have to jump through is unbelievable. So if I ever buy another project, it will only be one, if I want it on the road anyway, it will only be one that's already got an Austrian system set up on it. Buying one from the UK is a nightmare, or anywhere else, America, whatever. So yeah, it's a lesson learned. But I'll show you around the car and some of the features, some of the unique things I tried to do with it to make it a little bit nicer. So I hope you enjoy the video. So as you can see, it's more of a beige colour. A lot of people think because of the camera colours it was Old English white, but it's not. It's a kind of beige and black. My wife calls it a Chanel colours, but anyway. But as you can see inside, it's got a nice walnut dash. The seats were specially made. They're brand new seats from a company in the UK. I can't remember offhand right at the moment. That's a motor liter steering wheel, but it's more like a little Bentley inside. And you can see where the door cards were all made for it, the seats and everything. So I'll take you around the back, which is a little feature that I did on it. You can see it looks like a standard Mini, but probably the eagle-eyed amongst you will notice there's no hinges on the bottom here. Normally they're hinged here and here. This one actually opens sideways, so when you open it, you open the lock as normal, and it flies open, and there it's a side opening one. And these are hinges from an Audi A4 boot, and then I put this panel in here. Obviously there's a panel the same. This one's done, but this one's got to be done here. And this is open normally like this one, but I put it all in, and I think it looks quite nice. There's a few little bits on it are not brilliant, but and one other cool feature of this, and I'll have to come back a little bit, but if I open this, you can see there's a aluminium plate there. So if you're going somewhere, like you're going to IMM or going camping, you can take the rear seat swab out, put it like a cargo net in, and that is big enough to get a big suitcase. Obviously you have to take the back seat swab out to do that, and that was the reason I designed the boot to open this way. And you can see, just close the boot, and it just looks like a normal Mini. That's my old logo, the Jaguar 66. It's now Classic Car Cave. But as you can see, it's very nice inside. It goes like a rocket. I'll show you under the bonnet, and let me just open that. So I'll take you around and show you under the bonnet. So I'm going to get my finger in there, right? There we go. And it goes like a rocket. Some So I've uprated it. It was originally an SPI, and changed it back to a carburetor system, and it runs absolutely beautiful. It doesn't leak a bit of oil. It's one of the first Minis I've ever seen that doesn't leak, and it runs particularly well. So hopefully the end of next week I can actually start driving it around, go shopping with it. So as you can see from some of the paperwork, so this is the test, this is the car. This is like a little plastic thing with all the, I guess that's in it because it's modified, you have to, I guess, keep it within the car. But this is some of the things that's had to go through on an engineering side. You know, they've even measured things because the high-lows didn't originally come on the Minis when they came out of the factory. They're a modification, so all that had to be checked for engineering and so on and so forth. I know in the UK this just wouldn't even be looked at, but, and look, they've even zoomed there, they've even checking the steering and showing it is motor litre. So yeah, it's been very hard yards to get it sorted, but it's there now. And as I said, you can see even the tyres, even the wheels and tyres, because they're non-standard, had to go through some engineering check, and this is why it cost the money it did. And they wanted to know every detail. Unbelievable. And this is quite a thick, it's a duplicate copy. It's quite a thick, came in a registered post. So there's that. This is the test, and this is the little card that goes with it. Oh, some other good news. I spoke to the guy I organised to do the painting. He's not doing the painting, he's like a kind of go-between. He's the fixer, if you like, and he has a bunch of people doing different work for him. Unfortunately, as I thought, that there was a lot of issues with people going on holidays this time of year because it's school holidays and so on and so forth. And apparently they've been overloaded with work, which is not really my issue. But as I said to the guy initially, I have no problems with waiting for it. I've been restoring the car for 5 years. Well, for 3 years I did nothing to it basically because I was doing other projects. So it's not a major deal, and we will only be building it back up over the winter anyway. So he's assured me that supposedly in the second week in August it'll go in for paint. He's saying the body's already done, it's almost finished. It'll go into paint in the middle of August, maybe the end of August. So we should see it either middle of September or end of September, or possibly even before. But at least I've spoken to him now and I found out, you know, what's happening. So that's some good news as well. I was just a bit concerned that he wasn't talking to me, but from my understanding, he's under loads of pressure for different things, but that's, you know, obviously not my issue. But yeah, it is what it is. And just one of the things I want to say about that is this is the problem. I guess this is the downside when you're, you know, having a car, especially a classic car restored. The people know what these cars are worth, and so they consequently think that you should pay the earth to have them painted or repaired or whatever it might be. And to be honest, in Austria it's extremely hard to find somebody to do a classic car or old-timer because they don't want it in the garage for weeks or months at a time. They want to do crash repairs or insurance jobs where they get the car in, they take the old one off, paint up the new one, pop it back on, and they're out the door and they've been paid by the insurance. So they're not keen to do it, and the kind of money they want, they're asking really silly money for a respray, because the way they figure it, they don't really want the job, but at that extortionate price, it's worth them doing it. So, you know, the fact that I've got this job done for about half of what of the lowest and the highest estimate I had in Austria, I've just got to take some of this stuff on the chin because it's being done in Hungary. It's obviously cheaper than Austria. So it kind of goes with it's horses for courses. But at the end of the day, all I want is a good job and get it back here for the winter and start putting it back together so we can have it on the road for 23. So that's good news. So hopefully I'll be going out next week sometime with a Mini. I'll take you out for a drive and show you how it goes. The engine in it's beautiful. It runs like a top. And some of the other things I'll go over with you in the next few videos is this TIG welder that I got from Steve, D3S shooter, who gave me this, and I bought a little hobby bottle of gas, which is argon. But what I'm going to do is the same as Steve has done with his bigger machine. I'm going to get 97% on, 95% argon for my MIG welder, and I can run this on the same trolley. But I'll show you how it works, and it's a really good bit of kit, and it's perfect if you're doing something where you want to stop warpage or distortion in the metal, because the heat from MIG, even if you do it slowly, is quite extensive. It's quite high, whereas it's not so bad. You can bring the amps down on this to do very, very thin metal. Anyway, so I just wanted to give you an update. So I'm really pleased that I've spoke to the guy. I will go into the details once the car's back and explain some of the things, but I don't really want to query my pitch right now, so I'm not going to get into that. But I'm very happy that the Mini's done, and I can now at last drive it and enjoy it, and go to the shops in it. And the roads in Austria are just built for things like the E-Type and the Minis. They're lovely roads with very little traffic, and nice and windy and beautiful views, so it's a perfect scenario. So on that note, I just wanted to bring you up to date, and so as usual, I guess, stay safe, keep the faith, enjoy your hobby, and just get out in the garage and make something or do something. Take care, bye for now.